What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. First and foremost, we did survive Hurricane Beryl. She came in a little bit angry and hotter than expected. She came in and made landfall as a Category 3 early this morning. So on us here, we're both okay. Our apartment is undamaged, but unfortunately there has been some property damage around town. And also some hurt animals, dogs. You really hate to see that. That's heartbreaking. So it's with a heavy heart that we come at you with this video. But the purpose is to let you guys know we're okay. As far as we know, there have been no fatalities or anything like that. So now that's not to say that people haven't gotten hurt and injured. We did see a property that decided to use glass as the hand railing, you know, like a 7 or 8 story building, and a lot of those glass handrails turned into projectiles. So I will put together a montage of some of the damage done. And so the main purpose though is to take you guys on a little walk down 5th Avenue and kind of show you what things are looking like immediately after the storm. This is me and Anna's first trip outside of the apartment since the hurricane hit. So we're gonna take you along. We're gonna visit some of the beaches as well, the beach between 4th and 6th Avenue, and see how that held up and see how some of these businesses are looking. Some of these businesses are running generators, guys, but there's still no electricity down here. We don't have electricity at home in our apartment. We do have water, we do have running water. A lot of people don't because they have electric pumps. So just know that if you guys are coming down to visit 5th Avenue here immediately after this hurricane, some of these businesses do not have electricity. The cleanup is underway. I know they're trying to restore power. Also, another thing to note, we were under dry law during the hurricane, so no alcohol sales yesterday at all, but that has been lifted already. I'm seeing everyone walking around with Pacificos and Modelos. So, ooh, yeah, we got some more damage here behind me. So guys, without further ado, let's just go check out and see what's going on here on 5th Avenue. But guys, I want to note Pizza Renzo real quick right here behind me. They must be running a generator or something like that, and they are doing business slinging pizza, so I am happy to see that. Good for Renzo. I featured them about 6 or 7 videos ago, so at least we know we can get good pizza. We're off to a good start. All right, guys, thanks for stopping in today. Let's go check out Playa del Carmen post Hurricane Beryl. Vámonos. All right, guys, so it's been a mixed bag. Some businesses are up and running, but without electricity. Some folks are running generators. Some places have sustained damage, some have not. There was one high-rise condo building, I say high-rise, but like 7, 8 stories, over in the Colosio neighborhood, who decided to use glass handrails. And you can see here at McCarthy's as well, there's a window that was not hurricane grade. So lots of damage throughout town, unfortunately. But yeah, this condo building, they used glass panels as the handrails, and a lot of those had been pushed in by the wind, but some of them had been ripped out and turned into projectiles, and unfortunately caused some severe damage. There's broken glass all over that area and a couple of injured dogs from the glass. I don't know, it seemed as if one of the dogs had eaten some of the glass maybe. Hey, what's up, my friend? He's one of the servers at Ceviche Corazon, Paolo. Go check him out. Paolo's a good dude. Yeah, so you hate to see the wounded animals, but the fact is, guys, some of these street dogs and animals just have nowhere to go, so really hard to see that. And some stuff is still boarded up. But it was good to see Renzo doing business. So if you guys are looking for pizza, go check out Pizza Renzo here on 5th Avenue. He's open and has all the pizza and lasagna just like normal. Yeah, Anna just pointed out that McCarthy's window shattered. That was unfortunate to see. And you know, I think what happened, I was at Home Depot just yesterday and they straight up sold out of plywood. And I think some of these businesses just could not get their hands on the plywood they needed to protect the windows. So, oh wow, yeah. You can see a lot of these, wow. Yeah, these rooftop like sun shelters and things like that have been severely damaged. And it's not hard to understand why, guys. I'll share with you on the screen what we were seeing real time as far as the wind forecast when it made landfall. We were watching and, you know, keeping our cool, but our eyes just got kind of big when we saw what I'm about to show you on the screen, because the wind speeds were reaching, you know, 120, 150 kilometers an hour, and we were actually surprisingly close to the eye of the storm here. It kind of made landfall directly to the south of us. I think it hit Tulum quite a bit harder than it hit Playa, but the winds were insane. It's like nothing I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a little bit of fear and just some awe, like looking out the window. I couldn't help but kind of get near the window and look outside because I've never seen anything quite that powerful from Mother Nature in my life. And you can see this main plaza here is still shut down with the World Gym, and yeah, unfortunate. So these guys, yeah, no más ley seca, se acabó, chela, chela. So those guys got a straight rack of Coronas. I'm not gonna lie, that looks pretty good right now. I obeyed the dry law yesterday and did not have any beer or anything like that. Yeah, lots of damage to the trees, and oh wow, yeah. So this wax museum here, they had sandbags, they had plywood up on the doors. Some of these businesses seem to really know how hard this thing was gonna hit, and then some folks just kind of blew it off like, nah, it's nothing. I think the lesson, there's a few lessons here, but definitely better to be a little bit over-prepared than under-prepared, and it looks like they did a good job here. They protected the windows, the doors. Everything seems to be good here. I'm sure they tucked the wax version of Bruce Willis safely inside. He is their prize possession for sure. Thought I lost Anna for a minute, but she's a little short, so there she is right there. We lost her for a minute. All right. So we are both okay, as mentioned, guys. We're just a little short on sleep for sure, because when that wind arrived in full force at 4 a.m. or so, it was almost impossible to sleep through the gusts. It was pretty alarming. And then before the wind, actually the heavy winds hit, there was just some deafening thunder. So we got a big thunder and lightning precursor, and so that also made it impossible to go to sleep early. It was just cracking thunder, almost like gunshots. It was so loud. And it looks like Nicoleta survived. They had some creative graffiti up on their plywood, and some positive messages for us all. It says, Aguante Nicoleta Beryl 24, like endure Nicoleta, and then Beryl 24. So it looks like they did a good enough job of protecting Nicoleta and their precious cocktails and bread. It's hard to say when electricity is going to come back fully, guys. Center, it's kind of weird to see the center so dark and shut down, but most of us are just happy to be out walking, and at least there's access to some food and beer, and some restaurants are already doing business again. But you know, there's just a limited amount of resources. I mentioned Home Depot selling out of plywood. They also sold out of lanterns, flashlights, generators. There just were no generators to be had. In our case, there were no lanterns or flashlights to be had. We were able to get our hands on some candles. But we also went out last minute looking for like some card games, such as Uno and things like that, and those were all sold out too. So that's another one of the takeaways, is just have a couple of those things on hand all the time if you live, especially if you live in hurricane country, because this is going to happen for sure, probably more than once this season too. So a lot of people forecasted Beryl to hit Playa as a Category 1, maybe Category 2. And it was actually closer to a Cat 3 when it hit. So it really kind of caught some people by surprise. And what were your thoughts, Anna, when the wind hit? Were you scared?
Very scared.
Very scared, yeah. You can hear it from Anna. She's not ashamed to admit it. She was scared. I kind of just wrapped her up in my arms and held her and acted tough, but I was also a bit scared for sure. You know, because you just never know. We did not board up our windows. We put our big bookshelf in front of the main window in our living area and just, you know, felt at least a little bit of comfort with that bookshelf there. But in reality, you know, things could have gone pretty bad without boarding up the windows. So Starbucks is still boarded up. Let's go check out the water. This is just a big cluster. Careful with your feet there. Yeah. Let's go take a peek at the water, guys. And the beaches have been so beautiful lately that I'm really hoping that the beaches have held up. I think I've got an issue, guys, with my audio, so I'm going to resume the video here in just a moment. Okay, so just the wind is still really heavy, guys, so bear with me on the audio. If there's any clipping or spiking of the audio, I don't have a ton of control over that. I have my mic set to auto right now, so it's supposed to do a good job of kind of managing that, but gosh, I mean, you can imagine we're still getting some pretty strong gusts here. And I do have the Furry on there as well, but it, you know, it can only do so much. It's not a professional mic. It's the Rode ME, which is, you know, in that $150 range. So typically good enough, but I mean, we did just have a hurricane pass through, so it's breezy to say the least. Oh man, yeah. Talk about getting that windblown hairstyle for free right now, just straight blowing back. Man. All right. Okay. ¿Quieres caminar un cuadro por la playa? Sí, podemos. All right, I think Anna agrees that we're gonna do one block worth at least on the beach here. Wow, it feels like a totally different place. Yeah, so far I'm not noticing any severe damage here. Let's see what we see. Yeah, pretty rough seas for sure. Still plenty of people out enjoying life, but this is not the day for a nice leisurely soak in the ocean for sure. Yeah, and most of these buildings, I didn't expect to see much damage here. These buildings were built with the hurricanes and strong winds in mind. But this style of handrail up here, this glass panels, is what I was talking about on that one building over in Colosio. And those things went flying. A lot of those got ripped right out. And you can imagine how dangerous that is to have glass just spinning and flying like a guillotine through the air. So not all of these are built equally, unfortunately. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be here. This thing looks like it just got straight up tossed. It's amazing how big these are when you're up close to them. They look pretty small from a distance, but yeah, these navigational beacons or buoys or markers, whatever you want to call them, are definitely supposed to be out there beyond the reef. I think these ones are to mark the reef, but yeah, it's not there anymore. It's here. Welcome to Playa. Welcome to Playa del Carmen. All right. Oh, yeah, so I think we do see some damage up here to this beach club, unfortunately. I can't remember which one this is, but I think they're used to this. I think they probably rebuild these structures 2 or 3 times a year sometimes, so hopefully no one was hurt. And I know one of my subscribers, Ivan, right now, if you're watching this, Ivan, I think you're staying down in the Playa Car area. Let me know how things are looking down there in the comments if you can. I'd be interested to know that. I did just film a video in Playa Car and the beaches to the south 2 days before the hurricane hit. So I have not yet, at the time of recording this, I have not yet uploaded that because our Wi-Fi is out and we have no electricity still either. So I'm lucky to have enough battery to even film this. I just used my OtterBox external battery to charge everything as best I could. But yeah, we've got a palm tree uprooted that flew right into this place here. So I'm sure there was no one in the area. All this was a no-go zone. 24 hours prior to the hurricane, the beach was closed. So hopefully none of the employees or owners or anyone was hanging out here. Oh wow. Yeah, and this little walkway looks like it took some damage here. This entrance, this beach entrance. So all things aside, the unfortunate property damage and the lack of sleep last night, things like that, all of that aside, this is actually really pleasant. The breeze is really cool and refreshing, and so it's enjoyable to be out here and be down here. A lot of people are enjoying a nice six-pack or a cold beer here on the beach, and why not? It's so much better than being cooped up indoors. So yeah, big group effort here to protect this place from flooding, getting the sandbags in place. Yeah, and this is one of the big concerns, is the coconuts as projectiles. I did see various tree debris and a few coconuts literally go flying by last night during some of the big gusts around 4:30 in the morning. You could see you know, branches and palm leaves and things just whizzing by, so pretty dangerous. Luckily, a lot of our neighbors cut the coconuts off preemptively from their cocoa palms to avoid that becoming a serious issue. But I'm surprised a lot of these places, yeah, they just kind of left the coconuts on the trees. It's a lot of work to not only board up your business, but also hire the trees pruned and hire the coconuts cut off. So I can see why they didn't get to it, but it's definitely a big risk to leave the coconuts up on the trees. Oh wow, so this is Soundset Beach Club right here, and it looks like, salud, caguamon. So this is Soundset, guys, and it looks like they were able to preserve the big wicker heart, and I'm sure they'll have that back in place soon enough. So once again, guys, the audio is probably all over the place, but you gotta forgive me, this wind is still pretty strong. Nothing like it was this morning or last night, but still much stronger winds than I'm used to filming in. So for those of you coming down, don't lament. It seems like these businesses are really resilient. And I think we'll have electricity back before we know it. I'm actually surprised I didn't see a lot of down power lines. I was watching the lines in our neighborhood, and I think a lot of the electricity was shut down by design to avoid any risk of electrocution if lines were to come down. So I think some of that was by design. Oh yeah, so a little bit of damage to the Hard Rock here. Looks like nothing too severe, but dangerous. This is this rusty flashing, this rusty metal that clearly some of it just went flying and was ripped off. So yeah, no joke. Let's go down to Parque Fundadores, because I just filmed down there recently. Yeah, a lot of people out on this part of Fifth. Surprisingly huge crowd. Oh yeah, okay. So guys, Anna just mentioned what should have been pretty obvious to me, but I'm going on about 2 hours of sleep. She says, hey, maybe it's so busy down here because there's electricity, and she's totally right. Look at, everyone's got their lights on, and these places are packed, so good for them. It's funny how ridiculous some people get when they see a camera. Like, You never know. These people are unpredictable, especially when they're like 12 beers deep at 4 p.m. But it is Friday, and we're all happy to be alive, so I get it. I get it. We have a lot to celebrate. So as you guys can imagine, there was a little bit more damage up in Colosio than there is down here, and that's just because these buildings are a little more well built for the hurricanes. Luckily for us, we didn't have any damage at our building. Our apartment is completely fine. Our windows held up well. And guys, if you like these updates, please smash the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really means the world to me. Looks like the Subway is still closed, guys. If you want a Subway sandwich, you're out of luck for now. McDonald's held up, so you can get your Happy Meal. Oh wow, the ADO. I didn't think that the bus terminal would be boarded up and just straight up shut down, but they were taking no chances. So if you're expecting to go catch a bus from the ADO, you may have to make an alternative kind of backup plan. There are still buses coming and going? Oh, let's see, okay.
Taxi?
Okay, so they do have this entrance open. It looks like some of the buses are running. So scratch that, guys. The ADO is functioning, at least in part. All right, guys, so the tower for the voladores is still there. That's good news for them and for the people who like to watch them. It is windy though, guys. It is really kind of kicking back up. So look at the amount of people out here just shortly after a hurricane. It's Friday, it's low season, but people are out, families are out, people are out living life, and that's one thing I truly love about Mexico. I did a recent video, I guess a couple months ago, about 5 reasons why I left Portland. And the way that Portland kind of shuts down at times and just stops, and that's true during the, I guess, the global health crisis, we'll call it. A lot of things just shut down and stopped, and people went with it and just stayed indoors and watched Netflix for like 2 years. And one thing I truly love about Mexico is they kept going with life. The quinceañeras, the birthday parties, the family gatherings, these families stay together, they celebrate together, and that truly is one of my favorite things about Mexico. I know a lot of people stopped. I had friends who hadn't seen their own dads for 2 years because of certain things related to that global health crisis. So it's just nice to see life goes on, whether you have a hurricane or some type of health crisis. Life goes on here in Mexico, and we all try to enjoy every moment. I was actually out the day before the hurricane hit filming a video, but also swimming at some of the most pristine beaches. If you guys haven't seen that video, it's probably because I haven't uploaded it yet, but when I do upload it, I will leave a link to that one here at the end of the video so you can see how I mentally prepared for the hurricane. There's a lot of talk about physical preparation, boarding up windows or buying candles, buying canned goods, tons of water, and those things are all very important, but also spending a lot of time outdoors and preparing yourself mentally, using up my excess energy, on a long walk, spending time grounding, being barefoot, swimming in the ocean. All of that is part of my mental preparation for things like this when I know I'm going to be stuck indoors for a little while. So let's check out Playa Fundadores. You know that Dick and Willie's here, wow, they must have gotten hit pretty hard being that they're right on the beach. So that's tough to see. Playa Fundadores has been through a lot lately. It looks like the palapas are all, maybe they were taken out preemptively over there and set down so that they wouldn't literally just break off and blow away. But let's go check out the front side of Dick and Willie's. Oh man, okay, that's a bummer too, guys. Check this out. The Playa del Carmen sign has taken a beating. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that. So a lot of the sign has been just straight up ripped off. Let's go see what the front side of it looks like. Hola, hola, provecho. Oh. Permiso. Gracias. So, okay, so the P has gone missing, guys. We are now in Playa del Carmen. No hay P. Se fue. There's no P. Keep that in mind for your Playa del Carmen family photo. You might have to Photoshop in the P for that. Sucks, but I'm sure they'll have that fixed in no time. I'm sure that's not the first sign in Mexico to be damaged by a hurricane, and it won't be the last. Hola, hermano. Fellow YouTuber there. So without further ado, yeah, that sign, wow, that really caught my attention. I was surprised by that. Because that thing is built like a tank. You know, that Playa del Carmen sign is all made out of metal, but you know, all it takes is a little bit of wind getting in there and ripping that off for that to be destroyed. And it looks like that's what happened, but hopefully that's job security for some of the construction people and government workers here. They'll have some work for you know, to fix that. And it looks like Dick and Willie's is kind of a little fortress. The thatch roof there on the palapa is still there from the look of things. And yeah, Dick and Willie's seems fine. Resilient construction on that palapa for sure. And everyone's down here enjoying Parque Fundadores. Let's see if this Ojo de Agua is still here. It's kind of hard to tell, I guess, because of the tide and the waves, but it almost seems like it's gone. Maybe that's it where those kids are. I can't really tell. I would maybe have to fly a drone up over top, but with this wind, even if I had a drone at my disposal right now, I don't think I would even want to fly it. So guys, now I'm not sure if the Ojo de Agua is still here. I'll come down on a calmer day and see if I can find it. I will say this, the water is cool and refreshing. I got the water on my feet and it feels good, so that's nice. But look at these palapas have really gotten hammered. They did survive the tropical cyclone Alberto, but Beryl was a different story. She was pissed. She came in and she was like, no, not today, Palapa. You're going down. So let's see if we can track down Anna. I lost track of her. Last time I saw her, she was sitting up in Parque Fundadores. There you have it, guys. We're a little bit haggard from lack of sleep, but Playa del Carmen is still here. The party is still happening. So if you're coming to Playa, do not worry. There's a little bit of damage to the businesses. No electricity in a lot of places, but that's really not stopping anyone now, is it, from partying on? And Anna's doing great. I'm doing great. There's a lot to celebrate, a lot to be grateful for, and you know, electricity, no electricity, life goes on here in Mexico. I appreciate you guys stopping in. I'll leave a link to that video that I filmed right before the hurricane in Playa del Carmen and the beaches just to the south. I'll leave a link to that here. And I'll leave a link to one of the other pre-hurricane beach updates right here. Thanks so much for coming along on the journey, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Rope Monster out.